I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
I'm not allowed to tell.
I'm Carrie Cassidy from Project CAMELOT, and I am here with Aaron. Wow. Let's start over. What's your last name?
My name on my birth certificate is Aaron Green Hicks, but my real last name is ROTH-SCHILD. You know, a lot of work on myself in that year to be able to be calm enough.
Okay. And so did you plan to come forward?
You know, a part of me always wanted to say something once I started learning it, but the more I got harassed and the more directed energy on me and the more my brother pulled the hits on me and stuff, I stepped back just ever so slightly once in a while. And when January came, I don't know, it just was like I knew it was time. It was just time. I know it's the beginning instead of what people thought was the end last year. I know this is the beginning. So if I don't begin to tell and begin to disclose everything I know, then I'm hiding a very vital part, because my father ultimately was someone who was a very, very dark creature in this world. And I have a lot of guilt about what my father did, because I'm here at the summit with people that some of them are as old as me, or some of them were being programmed during the time my father was in there. So I feel guilt that my father has done this to these people. And I feel like if I don't come out, then I don't release them either. You know?
Okay, but I understand who you say your father was, more or less, but we're also talking about the entire Rothschild family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in terms of, you know, the lineage of this group of people, right, you understand that the reptilian influence on them.
100%.
Okay. And yet you fully acknowledge that you're half reptilian, right?
Absolutely.
And when we talked off camera a bit, you and I both discussed the fact that not all reptilians are bad.
That has been my mantra from the beginning, because I have never had a bad experience with them. I've not been subjected to my family, the Rothschild family, from, you know, since I was little, or on the other side or whatever. But so I don't have the darkness of that to compare it to, because every reptilian I came across was always kind to me and gentle with me. In the Pentagon, they would sit me in a chair, and I would sit there just like a little kid does, swinging my feet back and forth, just looking. And there would be a row of them in front of me, and they would, you know, and just like that, and just stare at me and just look at me. And it was the oddest thing, but they did it so much that I became comfortable with it. And one time when I was in the Kentucky facility, one tried to get me away from the humans so that I wouldn't be tortured anymore. He said I had enough. He kept telling them, she's had enough, let her go, release her. And they said no. Another person that said she's under contract. She cannot be released. This contract is a lifetime contract. And so he looked at me, and I've never in my life seen a reptilian cry, and this reptilian shed tears. And he said to me that I can't do anything more for you. They won't stop. So what I'm going to do for you right now is a gift. And that's when my lights went blank. That's when everything went dark for me, and I stopped remembering, because he put the block in, so whatever they did to me, I wouldn't, consciously remember it.
Okay. Along those lines, do you remember interactions with the Catholic Church?
Yes, I've seen ritual sacrifices of children in the Vatican, in the bowels of it. It's vile. It's the most vile place on earth. It's the most evilest, darkest. It is evil personified. God is not there. God left the building. God never entered that building and never will. Okay. He wants that building gone. He wants all of the popes gone. He's done with those popes. That whole scenario there is nothing but a sacrificial, ritualistic, evil. I can't even say enough about that place. It's awful. It's the worst place in the world.
Okay, but I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Black Pope?
Yes.
Okay. Did you meet him?
Consciously, I don't remember that.
Okay.
If I did.
Okay.
I'm sure. I mean, with everything that I've been through, I'm sure I have. on
Yeah.
more than one occasion.
I think it's logical to assume that, but I'm not going to, put words in your mouth over
Right,
here.
right.
So with that in mind, though, we're talking about reptilians, and because there's so much misunderstanding about reptilians out there, I just want to make sure that it's clear. So you believe that at least the reptilians you dealt with and the half of reptilian that you are, you believe that's a positive, in other words, we say service to others being.
Absolutely.
Okay. But you would acknowledge that the reptilians that you saw sacrifice humans, etc., are not service to self, would you not?
They're service to self.
I mean, service to others.
Yeah.
They're service to self beings.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So with that in mind,
And it's just a small minority of them. It's like on Earth, you have the humans that, most humans are really good humans, they just want peace and they just want to live. They want to do what God put them here to do, and that's just advance their souls. But then you've got that little faction of people that just fight against everything, and it's not the good fight, not the fight that I'm in. It's the fight to continue to hold us in this third dimensional density that we're in, and yeah, it's just a small minority. You have a lot more good ETs than you have bad.
okay. And as far as what's going on, though, here on Earth, you do see the controllers moving in to take control of society.
Yes.
And sort of tightening the reins on society. You see the
Absolutely.
movement of the New World Order.
Absolutely,
And-
the Fourth Reich.
Yes.
Yes.
And the head of that would be the reptilians,
Yes.
right? The
Obama serves
service
them well.
to self. Okay. And are you also aware of what is called the Anunnaki?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And is it your understanding that the Anunnaki and the reptilians are not the same beings? Or do you think that they're the same?
Anunnaki is it encompasses many races.
Okay, right. But if I was to say Anunnaki in the sense that Sitchin talked about, in other words, Enki, Enlil, and Anu, if I was to say those three names, and I was to say that as Anunnaki, those are, at least how they're depicted on the Egyptian temples, is as humanoid, looking. In other words, they
weren't
can be 9 feet tall.
They weren't human.
Okay, and so do you believe that they were reptilian?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
What about the notion that they might be half and half?
It's a possibility.
Okay, have you heard of Syrian reptilians?
No.
Syrian Anunnaki? You haven't heard of that?
No.
Okay. Because my understanding is that there is more than one race of that particular group from Nibiru, and that some of them
Well, that
appear to
would
be
make sense.
Syrian.
Total sense. You got Earth that has many different races.
Yes.
So why not Nibiru?
Exactly. But it is an interesting sort of line of investigation, let's say, because what I find is that people have different perceptions and different understanding about who the Anunnaki are. When this race of Anunnaki are the ones that are descended from Enki, Enlil, and so this is a certain race, and they appear to be, from what I can tell, half reptilian and half what appears to be a humanoid-like species, rather than pure reptilian.
Right, right.
Okay, which is, we, in a sense, and this is me throwing this out, we have a smaller portion of reptilian than they do. So exactly,
Right.
we're not half and half, although you say you are. We're more, some of the humans here are a portion reptilian, but then more other races. In fact, my investigations.
We're what I call a hodgepodge.
Yes.
The Earth
Well,
is a hodgepodge.
I would say there's a base 12 various species of ETs that went into what makes humans,
Well,
what we call
absolutely.
this
That's why you got
human.
Majestic 12.
There you go. So you're aware of this sort of thing, this line of inquiry. Okay.
I just don't talk about it a lot.
Okay. But you see that it's okay to talk about in at least.
Now I do. I
Yeah.
just haven't in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I am very interested in people starting to understand our ET heritage, so to speak.
Absolutely, I am too. That's the main thing for me. I have taught all of my children so that they're absolutely aware of where they're from, who they are, and the fact that don't think it's a curse to be a half reptilian. They look at it as a gift now. You know, my son for a while cursed it, you know, but now he sees that he was given a gift. You know, you got to look. A lot of super soldiers don't look at what they get as a gift, you know, and a lot of the bloodliners don't look at what they get as a gift. And really, it is a gift. We're here for a purpose, and our blood serves that purpose.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we have a limited amount of time here, and you know, this is a great opportunity and a great chance to talk to you and go down these roads. Maybe we can do this again in the future, even long distance. If you're in San Diego, actually, you're not that far from me.
I can always drive up.
Okay, and so because I happen to be just north of LA.
Okay.
But at this moment, just in the interest of time, you went through this torture, you've witnessed torture. At a certain point, you must have been like before your awakening, so to speak. How did you deal with it before your awakening?
I was very promiscuous.
Okay. So you were
searched for
exercising, okay.
Searching for love any way I could get. And I was married at this time, you know. I've been married since 1989. So my husband has had to put up with a lot, but he something inside of him told him that he just needed to stick with me through it because there was a bigger picture that was going to be figured out later. And obviously there was. But I became extremely promiscuous, and that's my monarch programming, you know, that was coming out of me. I would always be promiscuous with military men. It was always a military man.
Okay. When you say you had monarch programming, did you go on any kind of missions in those roles?
Yes. I can remember taking one man to his death.
Okay. So in a sense, you knew you were being used or programmed, even though you weren't awakened the way sort of we're talking about it.
Oh, there was always something off in my mind. I knew there was something that I needed to figure out about myself because I couldn't pinpoint why was I doing these behaviors? Why was I acting out? Why would I get so upset? Why would I go sleep with all these men? I have a beautiful, wonderful husband, and I would go off searching for love, and I had unconditional love at home. You know, I had what I didn't have with my parents. I had the love that was absolutely unconditional from my husband.
Okay, but aside from being a wife, you were programmed as a monarch's sort of slave, right?
Right.